Crypto and NFTs are all the rage, especially if you're on design Twitter. It seems like everybody's talking only about that. And so I don't really understand what's all the hype. And so I sat down with my friend Yambo. Yambo is one of the most talented artists I know. He has an amazing studio for 3D animation, working with amazing global brands. And last year he decided to start up a new company focusing on NFTs. So I wanted to ask him, why is he so excited about this? Can I get into it? What do I need to know? And talk all things NFTs. And so here's a really interesting conversation with him. I want to say in advance, I messed up the visual recording, the camera focus. Sun came out in the middle and burned so the frame is not that beautiful, but the conversation is super interesting. I hope you still enjoy it. Enjoy. What's up, Yambo?
Great, yes.
Thank you for sitting with me.
Yes, we're doing it for the second time, right? It's been like 3 years since the last
so
one
much happened.
So much happened.
Okay, so here's what I want you to explain to me. This is kind of like an intro to NFTs, designers, creators, everything that's going on. Everybody's going wild. I'm trying to understand, and I want you to help me understand what's going on. Why are you so excited about this? So I want to basically tell you what I already know, just seeing on my Twitter feed and everything, but I don't know too much. And then I want you to either correct me or let me know what I'm missing here.
Awesome.
Okay. So as far as I understand, blockchain, crypto, that kind of stuff. And I understand that NFTs are basically like images or something like this that are connected to, let's say, a specific blockchain address, and there's only one of these things, right? So it's non-fungible. And so you are the owner of a certain JPEG, rendering, animation, or something like this. Do I understand this correct?
So far, correct, yeah.
Okay, and I understand that people are getting excited about this, collecting stuff, just like people are collecting art in the real world. I understand this, but there seems to be so much hype around this. And I'm wondering, like, from my perspective, first of all, is this just like a hype? Like I see art in the real world, like there's, some artists make a lot of money, a lot of artists are broke. So I'm just wondering, are people excited about this because they're trying to make a quick buck? Or is this like, why are you excited about this so much?
Yeah, so I think those are two separate questions. I mean, most of the people currently hyped about it, not necessarily for the reason I'm specifically attracted to this whole like field, because it's pretty wild what's happening those days. So I think for me the value of like having, so I've been dealing with digital art for the past decade, and it's never been something in the mainstream. It always was something very specific that was like a tool for us to serve either brands or different kind of products. And it never was the thing itself.
Right.
And I think the thing that blew my mind, like around a year ago, I think October 2020, is the fact that like digital artists started to really see like people understanding the value behind the work and appreciating it by purchasing it or collecting it or whatever it would be. So for me, the thing that really blew my mind is the idea that you can take digital art and take all the things that are related to like the appreciation of art in the real world and giving this value through the blockchain. So this is like one thing that really attracted me and really related to everything that I've been dealing with over the past year. But on the other end, there is everything that's going on currently with NFTs. And it's a lot about like flexing that you own something that is really pricey because you can just, show the idea that you purchased it, and it's all recorded on the blockchain and it's visible to everyone. So everyone know that Ron bought this board app for this is like one thing that you can critique it and you can love it or not, but it's happening. And Twitter already adding like verify NFT as a profile picture, and a lot of things going on. Just last week Nike purchased Artifact, which is dealing with like fashion on blockchain and connecting like the gaming to the metaverse, and a lot of stuff we can discuss shortly. And there is the whole idea of like taking something that is with the community around it and really build the value around the community, which is also something that happened a lot those days. So I think the core idea is exactly as you describe it, but it's starting, over time, I think we will see more and more like branches of specifics inside the blockchain. So it started with like JPEGs and MP4 and visual stuff, but slowly we're seeing like music on the blockchain, we're seeing like, poems or written content, because at the end of the day, the differences between what everyone knows as like Bitcoin, which is a YAM sent run, 1 Bitcoin, you wish, as a transaction on the blockchain, and it's only like a record of the transaction. So the whole idea with smart contract is adding some kind of like information or it could be basically anything.
I want to ask I feel like it's a stupid question, but I'm going to ask it anyway just because I don't understand. So, like, let's say you have some kind of an NFT, like a JPEG, and you are the owner of it.
Yeah.
And if I understand correctly, there is the process called minting, which is basically like registering that certain art on a blockchain, right?
Exactly, yeah.
So if I right-click, copy that, and go ahead and mint it again, and then now we have actually 2 NFTs that are like real with the same JPEG. Is that a thing that's happening? Like,
definitely. So there are a lot of, technically it's exactly as you described. Ideally the original owner of the artwork or whatever it would be should mint it on the blockchain by himself, and people would recognize that the original creator minted it on the blockchain, and there is multiple ways to verify that he did it, either from like verified badge on the different platforms or just by his website that he's connecting. You can see if someone
so you have to really do a research into that.
Right, and there are a lot of cases, even with recently, like with some big collections, that people just went to OpenSea, opened the collection with the exact same name, try to do the best they can to make it look real, and just try to.
So there are a lot of shady things going on.
Yeah, there are a lot of things like that, and there are a lot of scams and a lot of people getting like messages on every product. You probably saw those days that like the DM on Instagram and Twitter is just full of noise and a lot of things going on because of what happening to this space. So there is a lot of like the negative part that is really annoying those days, but I don't think it feels like the important thing. It is just side noise. Yeah.
You mentioned community, and I do see that there is a lot of communities either around the whole NFT thing or around certain collections. Can you explain? Because I don't understand. I'm not on Discord. I know Discord is very strong. I just see everybody on my Twitter feed talking about this, but I don't understand like what is the community aspect of it? Can you explain that to me?
Yeah, it's a good point, because when I started Disrupt, and I can talk about it shortly about the whole idea behind it, but initially the idea was to like take this small community that we had because of all the studio work, past years reaching out for some people and coming to Slack and growing like a friendship between people that spread across the globe. So when I started it, thinking about using the community as a starting point, it wasn't with a deep understanding of what a community is.
So for you, it's the community of artists, creators who are creating the art.
Yeah,
right?
yeah.
Okay.
So this was what I started with. But over time, I saw all those crazy Discord groups with a lot of people inside, and the brand is in a way trying to give value to the community, so they will stay involved and build something that means something for them. And over time, I saw that like all those big projects and major projects are really like the core thing about them is the community and how involved they are with everything that's going on. So it's either starting with some giveaways and something you give to the community so they will be involved, and then I think that the successful project really creating like a true value within it. So even Gary Vee and VeeFriends, it's all about looking at the community, creating value for them through the NFT. So the NFT could play as a membership token for being involved in something in the physical life. It could be like a membership token for.
So it's still. And now I'm confused because we started off with it's just like art. You collect it and then you flex. I'm the owner. But now there's also this functionality aspect to it. If I got this token, I go into this event or I get something. So is it like these things come together? Certain projects are just for collections. Some projects are just like
I feel personally that like the utility is less behind what's going on currently within this world. I feel that we're so much ahead with how people understanding it, even that they can't like buy this digital garment and use it on Facebook Horizon and move it. I mean, the idea is there.
I feel completely a kid. What is Facebook Horizon? What is digital garments? What I know about JPEGs, but what are all these? Okay. Is this what they call the metaverse?
So actually, Facebook turned into Meta because they want to be like very involved in the metaverse, which I have a lot of critique of, but let's leave it for another time. And on Horizon is like the platform that they are developing to create like social interaction within the metaverse, and basically I think they're
VR type thing.
It just launched last week. I even didn't play with it with the Oculus, so I just saw some like things on YouTube and just very brief. But the idea, I mean, what we did when we launched Disrupt is a lot of things related.
Wait, so maybe you tell us about Disrupt. Okay, you start a new project. Tell us about it, then we have context.
Yeah. Good. Actually, that's fair enough. So
everybody knows, or at least I know, and we work together. You had an amazing, studio for 3D animation, amazing stuff, and now you start a new project called Disrupt.
Yeah, and I think the whole purpose behind it was to see our take on NFTs, using everything we did so far and the past years, and trying to build like something that would be really strong in terms of like our take for the metaverse. So there are like two different parts for Disrupt at the moment. There is the marketplace, which is basically a very highly curated NFT marketplace that people could upload directly their work from like our ecosystem, or people that are really close to me personally at this moment in time, or in the future.
You can't, and nobody can I can't just go in there and publish. You have to be invited, or it's
not because I'm trying to be a dick, just because I think that currently what's going on with NFTs is that there is so much noise out there. And even if you go into OpenSea or even Foundation those days, there are just too much going on for seeing
so you curate amazing artists and then
and then trying to give like a place for it that will be like very different in terms visually from. I mean, NFTs are not necessarily around art. There are a lot of things around art, but not necessarily around it. And I see really the value for digital art, and this is like one part of Disrupt. And the other thing.
So this is in a marketplace, meaning kind of like e-commerce. I go there and I buy NFTs.
Yes, from like really amazing digital artists that I had like the real pleasure to work with over the past years. And
another technical question again, just because I'm clueless. If I buy on your platform, can I only flex on your platform, or where do I flex? Where do people see what do I have?
Yeah, so basically OpenSea is like the largest marketplace at the moment. So people usually trading there, or just
that's where they have their public profile, where everybody can see what they own.
They have also a profile on Disrupt and on many other platforms, but like the big place that everything is like a funnel into is OpenSea, and all the NFTs that we're creating on Disrupt are reflecting on OpenSea right away. So it's pretty much just like any other platform in terms of like seeing your NFT. At the end of the day, what we are doing with Disrupt or all the other marketplaces is just a bridge directly to your wallet. So basically people minting something from the wallet, collector could make an offer or directly buy it from their wallet if they list it for a sale. And then the transaction is going between the artist and the collector. And we are only like bridging it and creating like the curation around it and doing a lot of things on the backend, not directly on the blockchain, just to provide extra value, like additional files that could be hosted or anything that we think create a value. But at the end of the day, OpenSea just reflect all the NFTs out there and So
this is one part.
This is one part, and the other part is basically a place for all the craziest ideas that we had over the past years and now that didn't have home. I mean, so far everything we created was based on a brief and for a client requirement or for a product or something that was like,
commercial.
Commercial in a way, or just providing value for someone else. And I think what we did with the Disrupt drops, at least we tried. So We launched on September 13, 3.5 months ago. And so far we had like 6 drops. And each one of them is a whole different thing from every, I mean, the fun about it is that we look at each drop and trying to create the most innovative and most creative.
But give me an example.
Okay. So the first one was like a digital fashion collection for the metaverse. So basically, like a capsule collection, kind of like a coat and a mask and shoes, and all of them add some kind of utility for the metaverse. So initially,
to a specific platform, to this Facebook thing,
so ideally, Disrupt would create metaverse-ready gear for all the biggest platform. But the truth is that it's very limited those days. So what we did.
What are the platforms?
Yeah. So the most straightforward thing was to find a game that allowing you to really modify the OBJ and prepare it in a file that you can load in. Just plug and play into your avatar, and that's it. So we took a game called Sansar, which is not a big game. It was just a good showcase for the idea of like how we can take the garment, prepare it in a file that you can load in and just play with it. So we did it with Sansar, and we did like an AR application so you can like shoot the garment on your body and upload it to Instagram, like a classic digital fashion. But again, the utility is not as it should be. So for me, it's just showing what the potential is. Yeah. And so this was the first drop.
By the way, sorry to cut you off. But it's so funny. Are you familiar with Second World?
Yeah, of course.
Okay, so
this is an evolution of Second World.
Yeah, I mean, it's like in my first job, I think as a designer, like 15 years ago, I had a friend. She was playing Second World all along, and she was making tons of money making fashion for Second World. And this was 15 years ago. Yeah. She was making, like, eventually she quit her job, and that's what crazy. She was doing. She was doing fashion and now everybody's talking about it as if this is new, but actually people have been doing this for like 10 years. So
that's true. And I think what I'm really seeing here, even if we just focus on digital collection for a second, is the idea that currently people, obviously buying things for the physical self. I mean,
yeah, of course.
This is obvious. But as more people getting involved with like Web 3.0, which we can discuss in a moment, in the metaverse, I feel that as more people would spend time inside, they would like to own specific things that are very unique for them, and not just going to the store of like, say, Facebook Horizon, or just scrolling through the given shirts and pick something, but really load their NFT that is really exclusive, and there is like 50 or 100 or 2,000 of those, and seeing this in this platform and having the ability to move between different platforms and just owning something in the digital world that is basically what we are doing in the physical life, and I feel it's only time that it will reflect directly.
I completely agree, but then I'm hearing exactly what you're saying now, and this is exactly what she told me like 15 years ago. Everybody's going to be on Second World, everybody's going to buy things, and I'm like, okay, but eventually like this platform didn't win, and we still don't see like which platform, like in a sense, it all makes sense what you're saying. Yes, we will all live in a metaverse, digital stuff, but no platform ever won yet, I think. Right?
It's a good question. Maybe it's worth talking for a second about Web 3.0 and the meaning of it regarding...
Is Web 3.0 just a rebrand of crypto? Because this is what I'm seeing on Twitter.
might be, but think about it for a moment. So Web 1.0, we were basically just consuming content that is not interactive in any way. Yeah. In Web 2.0, there was a lot of
user-generated content.
Yeah, there was a lot of like corporations and big players like Google or Facebook or whatever it would be, and people would generate content inside those platforms. So the ownership on those stuff wasn't directly of the people. So I think on Web 3.0, the idea is that everyone is owning whatever they own on the blockchain, on the crypto, but it's basically theirs. No one could take it from them, and if like one of the biggest players would shut down their doors, it's not like everything is gone. Like, I got albums on Facebook from decades ago, and you probably also, they might be hidden, but all the stuff are in there, and it's all very centralized. So I think what really attracts people at the moment is the idea of decentralization of assets. And imagine that if everyone would own a lot of stuff on their wallet, a lot of NFTs and a lot of like digital fashion or whatever it will be, eventually it would just need to have a link to a specific platform. So it's not like this would be the biggest players or this would be. Eventually, I believe that we must reach a time that everyone would support what everyone is owning, and then eventually it would be just, let's put it here or put it there, but you are the owner of what you purchased. And I think this is what excites me with Disrupt, because you can really create content directly for the people, really work hard so they will appreciate like the effort of the quality, just like you want to buy like high quality furniture or garment in real life. I feel there is a place for high quality lifestyle, interior, fashion items for the metaverse. And I think this was like the things that really like blew my mind when I understood that we can really create it, because within the studio, we try to create like the most high quality CGI content. And if you take CGI as a tool, it's the best tool to create like, stuff for the metaverse.
Yeah.
So eventually I think it's all making sense to me within these boundaries.
Yeah, I understand. Okay, so drop number 1 was the NFT connected to like 3D object of the clothing, right?
Yeah. The second one was related to like furniture. So we did like bean bags, like poofs you can sit on, which is like too much innovative probably for this point in time, because it's a very specific like item for your home. So we did like a physical one and digital one.
You actually manufactured it?
Yeah. So this also something that's very like exciting for me, like designing something within our C4D and our digital world, and then understanding that it's looking really, really cool and we can maybe bring it to the real life. So we manufacture like 5 of those in physical, like quite big, and they end up quite nice to sit on and everything.
Nice.
And we just offered like digital collectibles and Phygital collectibles, which we actually call them, because they also got the digital token and also got a physical one. And it was just when we met like this VR space when you can go and see those like beanbags in the metaverse, and a lot of things to show the idea. Obviously, it's still early. And like moving back to the 5th drop, so we did a really cool like synthesizer or NFT visualizer with Liron Ashkenazi, which got like an amazing NFT collection called Boys, and Love Hulten, which is like a Sweden amazing craftsman.
The actual physical thing. So
and this connection is also very exciting for me, because it's really helping people from like the old world or this world understand the value within NFT when you bridge it between the physical and digital. So it's just another thing we were playing with. And the last one was music and the blockchain, and how we can create value for the artist itself. Because so far an artist was, launching an album, and it was closing deals with Spotify and all the biggest streaming platforms. And right now, a creator or an artist could really create his own audience directly. I mean, he minting something from his wallet, people are purchasing it, and it gives them like future access for whatever it will be and whatever the artists decide to do. So a lot of like interesting idea about ownership, about people creating something directly for their users, and this is.
But by the way, like creator economy, this is something also that's been talked a lot over the last 10 years, and a lot of tools. I'm using tools to create courses and sell them. Other people using tools like whatever, Gumroad and stuff like that to sell songs, ebooks, whatever. So people have been able to create. All right. So my question to you is this: like, if I am a designer, I'm interested. Sounds very exciting. What should I be looking at? Should I be going ahead, creating designs, minting them? Should I be learning 3D? Because as you said, 3D is the language of the metaverse, and that's the future, and designers should like develop the tools to create that. Like what would be your tips?
I think that first thing, just downloading MetaMask, which is just a direct link for Web 3.0, because with MetaMask...
This is the wallet that you use to purchase stuff?
Yeah, so MetaMask is a wallet that is very easily integrated within every platform. So you basically just add it as a Chrome extension. You need to save well the seed phrase, because this is the access to your wallet. So don't write it on email or something, just write it on a paper and save it, even on a piece of paper. There are different solutions, but just keep it safe because there are so many stories about people.
I have such a funny story because when I bought Bitcoin like 9 years ago.
Oh, wow.
And I wrote the code, that stuff in a notebook. And then, I've got I never throw a notebook. So I've got like 20. And then for 7 years, I didn't know where the password was. I had to go through and look through all of my notebooks.
Jeez, at least you found it. Yeah, that's crazy. Yeah, after you safely kept your seed phrase, it's basically just an easy connection to Super Rare Foundation, OpenSea, Disrupt. I mean, there are so many stuff going on right now, and even just buying a bit of Ether and going into those platforms and starting to play with it and see how it works. I feel that
by play you say purchase or can you explain to me just overall, what is the process of minting? Do I have to pay to mint work? How does that work?
So basically, as you said, minting is the process of registering something on the blockchain, which is a certain type of data. And there are different access to mint, either from OpenSea or other platforms that you can basically load an image, write some metadata. I'm the owner, this is the details. Mint, pay gas fees. Gas fees are basically what you're paying to the network, not directly to a specific platform or a centralized place. It's just what you're paying for the network to confirm the transaction, or at least to do the consensus mechanism, which previously was proof of work and proof of stake, and we won't get into it, but basically you just paying for the network to live and process your transaction. As the gas is higher, the transaction would process quickly, and if it's lower, it might take some time to process. Right now, we are at the time, specifically with the Ethereum blockchain, that the gas are quite high, so you can pay $50 or even more for minting or different actions, but it should change. I mean, over the next year, I'm sure there will be drastic changes with this specific network. And there is also a lot of other blockchains like Solana or places that you can basically pay really low gas fees just to play with everything and understand how it works. So it's also a solution to work with another blockchain that is currently got less gas price from Ethereum. But again,
you can still host it on all of these platforms.
Yeah, so
OpenSea, all of these.
OpenSea specifically not. So there are different platforms for Solana or different, but it's just temporary. We're just very early, I think, and this is why the gas are high. So this is just a side point. If people seeing they're trying to mint something and suddenly they're at $50, so worth googling gas fees and understanding what exactly it means. So this is just something to pay attention for. And when I was saying playing with, so I mean, yeah, you can just either mint something of yourself and try to list it for sale. It will be very hard if you don't have a community around you and you're not focusing on trying to make it work, because I saw so many friends that was just trying to upload something to OpenSea without really speaking about it. And because all of the noise, it's really hard to, it's a lot of work like
marketing anything. It's marketing. Exactly, you got to market.
Exactly. So this, and besides that, I think it's really fascinating to try to collect a collection that is really new and got a lot of good value behind it. So that the founders are really good because they did this and that, and that the community really appreciated it because you saw that there is a lot of hype in few days, so the floor price is going up. So for me, also trading with NFTs and trying to see how it works to buy something and then sell it a few days in a higher price, it's also really fun to understand the process. So I wouldn't say don't trade NFTs, it's bullshit, you lose your money. Yeah, you might lose your money, it's very risky. I mean, I won't recommend for someone to try to trade right away, but for me, it's really fascinating also. So I would definitely recommend, even with just, there are collections with very low entry price. So you can just understand the process easily like that and then understand if it's for you or you like it or not. So a lot of, yeah.
So you don't hold that point of view of if I have a really good collection or whatever, I need to hold it because that's, as you said, that's my flex. Those are the artists that I believe in and I want to hold their art because I believe in 10 years, maybe they'll be worth more. It sounds very fast. I hold it, but for 3 days.
I can speak, about my agenda now, but at the end of the day, if I was buying a punk on January when I was looking at the floor price of 5K, probably I would have a lot of money right now just from flipping it. So obviously I cannot say, no, don't buy it because it doesn't look right. But for me, I didn't enter to a lot of like hype thing because I wasn't really appreciating the art at this point in time. But it's not only about it. I mean, this is me, and this is, mistakes I did on the way, or just opportunities that I didn't took along the way. But it's not necessarily mean that it's just about the artist I'm seeing it. So for me, I'm trying to see the value around real art and what the blockchain could give to like a digital art. But at the end of the day, buying something because it's got a lot of hype around it and the price is going very high because a lot of reasons, could be marketing reasons, could be like real reasons. It's not necessarily something you shouldn't do. I mean, I'm only speaking about my experience, which...
So how did you, okay, right now I am overwhelmed. I open my Twitter feed, I see everybody's talking. I have no context about, you've mentioned, what is a good project? The founders are good. This is interesting. I feel like I have zero context to make this decision. So I feel like it would just be like a speculative bet. But how would you, what was your process? How did you learn? What would be a tip maybe that you give somebody who wants to learn more? Is there like a place to go read? Is this just like do your own research type thing? Like what?
Yes. So I think it's fair to say that even currently, when I'm opening my Twitter in the morning and seeing like all the new stuff going on, it's madness every day. So the pace of everything going on is really extreme, and it might not be for everyone. I don't know, because it's not like now I'm controlling everything on the NFT space and I know every project. So yeah, I know the major ones and I understand a lot of how things are going, but still a lot of things popping every day. I would say that a good way to start would be first to open a MetaMask and try to see how it works. Second, go into Twitter. It feels very scary at the beginning, but just following the people you already love. So everyone got those few designers or few brands they like. And I would say, even if you just follow Adidas and Nike those days, you'll see the latest NFT Adidas related. I mean, it's everywhere right now. So you don't really need to dig deep to find those.
And what's going on Discord? Like, what's the difference between Twitter, Discord? Like, what's going on there?
Okay, so I think it's fair to say that Discord is pretty much similar to Slack in a way, because you got channels. People could communicate inside channels. They got limitations. You got voice channels. You got audio channels. You got.
No, I know what technically Discord is, but I'm asking is this where you go and join communities?
Yeah, so it's a place for the community at the end of the day. So I think when you join Discords of certain groups,
do you have to be invited or everybody can join?
It depends. For us specifically, you can just join. The link is everywhere, so you can just join. So on this rock we got the DAX, which are like a membership token of us. So we got a channel closed for DAC holders. So on Discord you got all those bots that you can verify an NFT directly. And so there are a lot of technical things related to gaming that initially Discord was, I think, launched for gaming.
Yeah.
So communication between gamers. And there are a lot of things you can do within certain groups, just verifying your NFTs and then having a closed group with people that also own this NFT. And then also only those people could have giveaways from the community because they are a certain group. So at the end of the day, it's just a place for the community to be highly involved. A lot of project giving the first shout out of something new on Discord before doing it outside on socials. So it's just at the end of the day, a place to be highly involved with the community of a certain project. So I would say...
So give me 2 Twitter accounts that you think are interesting to follow and 2 Discord communities worth checking out.
Okay, good one.
So follow, of course, follow Yambo. We'll put all the links, join their Discord, but besides that...
So I think for Twitter, I would say first account is basically Lirona. So Lirona Shkedazi, just because she is really doing everything so right regarding her community and her collection, which is pretty amazing. So this would be one account. And the other account, perhaps let's say even Richard, which is, I'm not sure what the handle, but we can we'll tag it in the video or something, which is just basically showing how a creator within the metaverse is acting within Twitter and all of his tweets about like writing important stuff about like the Web 3.0 in the metaverse and a lot of things just to see in the morning and take a lot of like good point from. So those would be like two places on Twitter to just follow as a very as a beginning. And for Twitter and for Discord, two places I like would be either perhaps 33 NFT Discord, which is like someone we've been working with on some of the previous drops, and they got a really nice community, which is very personal and not a lot of like mess going on inside there. And the other Discord that would be nice to just explore it, perhaps like either Foundation or Super, just because it's a slightly different angle on Discord because it's very big and a lot of people posting like the artworks there, and there are a lot of channels. So it might nice to just grasp what's going on there and seeing. But it's hard to recommend because the things I like are much smaller and might be specific for an interest, but it might be good to follow those just as a beginning, as introduction for this space. So hopefully those are good recommendations.
Thanks so much, Jan. It's been a pleasure.
Thanks.
I feel so much smarter.
Awesome, man. Thank you so much.
Cheers. Thanks.